What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Listen, guys, anybody who's doing videos on guns and reviewing guns, anybody who's doing reviews on pistols and puts out videos claiming that the whatever gun they're reviewing is a Glock killer, or it's gonna dethrone the Glock, and this gun will replace your Glock 19, or 10 reasons why this gun will replace your Glock. It's all marketing, in my opinion. It's using sensationalism to get views and clicks, and it's dishonest. Straight up. In my opinion, it's dishonest because you know better. They know better. They know that they know better. Because first and foremost, I think people forget that the Glock 19 was introduced in 1988. That's over 35 years of real world abuse, real world testing, real world feedback, militaries, law enforcement, civilians. This gun has been in more hands and survived more abuse than most of us could possibly imagine. Like, if 35 years of proving yourself is not worth, and not only proving yourself, being consistent and proving yourself, being reliable, having a trustworthy product, if all it takes is to come out with something that has one or two new features to dethrone you, then what is the motivation for a gun company to continue to be a trustworthy, reliable, good company, follow all the guidelines, and do everything that they need to do to put out great product? What is the incentive for a company not to be shitbag companies? Like, sorry to say this, because I love I love some of my SIG products, but sorry to say this, like a company like SIG. So what is to stop Glock from just being like, fuck it, we're just gonna do what everybody else is doing and get the money? Because in my opinion, it is actually kind of gross that a product can come out and be out for a year and somebody can claim that it's better than the product that's been out for 35 years, proving itself. Like, it makes no sense to me. It's a marketing gimmick. It's a way to hype up sales for a product that hasn't even had the chance to prove itself yet. It's a money grab, plain and simple. And I get it. New guns are exciting, but let's not lose sight of what's real and what's hype, basically. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh well, you don't even carry stock Glock. You're carrying that Zev, and Zev's that." Listen, for all intents and purposes, and by the way, we're clear, this is a Glock. Now, Zev has gone above and beyond, and they've put together the Ferrari of Glocks. But this is a Glock. So if I wasn't carrying this Zev, I'd be carrying my Glock 45 or my Glock 19. Point blank, period. With the same configurations. RMR, Radiant Ramjet, X300, the same, Magwell, the same thing you're seeing here is what I'd be. Glock 45, Glock 19. That's how I have my other Glock set up. You guys see my Glocks on my channel. If you haven't, just scroll down. Same way I'd carry it. For all intents and purposes, this is a Glock. Glock parts, Glock built off of the Glock platform. Essentially, essentially this is just the Ferrari of Glocks. Essentially, now some people may not think it's worth it to pay the extra money, but I believe it's worth it. But this, again, it's a Glock, and let's get something out of the way too that a lot of people like to bring up. Glock triggers, they're so bad. And listen, the triggers that come, and I didn't used to always believe this. I had to learn this. I had to go through buying a bunch of different guns, and I had to humbly come back to Glock and ask for forgiveness, essentially. And I'm not the biggest Glock fanboy, nothing like that. I think logically, rationally, all that stuff. I like all guns. But let's be for real now. With the Glock triggers, the stock Glock triggers are perfectly adequate for self-defense, combat, all that shit. When you're pulling the trigger in a self-defense scenario or in combat or whatever, you are not going to... the last thing you're thinking about is, oh man, this is a nice 4-pound pull. You're not thinking about any of that. That shit does not matter. Now, I'm not a trigger snob, but I like nice triggers. You guys have seen I changed my triggers out on a lot of my guns. But when I came back to Glocks, the last year and a half, I put more rounds downrange than I've ever had in my whole entire life. And what I've learned, especially with the Glocks, is that the more, and I will also add the ZEV trigger to this, because a lot of people don't like the ZEV trigger, but the more you shoot the Glock and the ZEV triggers, the better they get, point blank. And usually when I see somebody who owns a Glock that says, oh man, I just don't, the trigger is just funny, I can automatically deduce that they have not put over 1,000 rounds through their Glock. 9 times out of 10. I don't speak in absolutes. Real men don't speak in absolutes. But 9 times out of 10, I can deduce that you have not put enough rounds downrange with your Glock. Somebody can come back and say, well, it shouldn't be that way, that the trigger gets better. It should. Again, let's go back. The stock Glock triggers that come in your guns are perfectly adequate. They're good. For what you need them to do, they're good. This whole trigger pull, and this is a new thing that's come out with, 1911s and 2011s being a thing. And like, it's a little snobby, and I get it. We have options and you get what you want, and I get it. But let's not lose sight of what we're using these things for. In a self-defense situation, whether you have a 4-pound pull or a 6-7 pound pull, when your adrenaline is kicking, you tense up and you go to place that shot, your finger is going to press that trigger, especially if you're doing multiple shots and you're letting shots off. You're not going to know how heavy this could be. A 9-pull goddamn trigger. And mind you, I have double action guns that the trigger pull, the double action trigger pull is horrendous. If you're just, dry firing, and if you're just pulling on it and stuff like that, it's horrendous. But in a self-defense scenario, the trigger pull means nothing. I've done burpees, got up, tie myself out, get my adrenaline pumping, shot, and this was with the PO7, put rounds downrange. I could not tell how heavy the trigger was pulling, just because of how the mechanics of shooting a gun is, and how when the tension, the adrenaline, you just can't tell. So, not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying let's stop pushing this stuff on the average gun owner, because to the average gun owner, the shit doesn't matter. So let's stop talking about these triggers. If you're complaining about Glock triggers, you're not putting enough rounds downrange. That's just what I think. That's just my opinion. You let me know in the comment section if you agree or not, but that's what I've learned. So it just really grinds my gears anytime there's a new gun or something flashy out. People are, oh, the Glock killer. And I get it. Glock is the standard. Everybody wants to compare themselves to Glock. I get it. But the title of king isn't given. It's earned. It's earned through years of hard use, reliability, trust. People who've bet their lives on it. Civilians, soldiers, police officers. Like, I don't know. It's just, you don't get the title because you put out something with flashy marketing or fancy features. You got the title because your product works, and it worked every time, no matter what. So, and until these new guns start proving themselves over years and years of use, you gotta chill with the, allegations of dethroning someone. And we're not even getting into parts availability and the ecosystem of Glock. I can walk into most gun stores and find Glock parts, springs, firing pins, magazines, triggers. I can find what, and it doesn't matter, because we all know there are boomer gun stores, and then there are new age gun stores, millennials, and there's some in the middle. Like, you can usually tell the vibe once you walk into a gun store. And then there's a pawn shop, boomer style gun store, gun shop. It doesn't matter. You'll always find Glock parts. It's universal. I've had the Echelon for over a year, and 9 times out of 10, I can walk into a gun store and they do not have parts for the Echelon. That's just the way it is. So it really grinds my gears. And people like to dig on Glock for saying Glock perfection, but let's be real. Glocks, and I'm going to include the ZEV in this because this is, like we said, it's a Glock. and this includes the MR920, all the Glock clones, in my opinion, even daggers. But honestly, I like to keep it to just Glock and platforms that do the Glock platform right by building a good product off of the Glock platform. So like, I haven't fired too many daggers, so I can't really vouch for daggers. So if you vouch for daggers, you let me know in the comment section. But Glocks are an engineer's gun. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't understand what I'm like. It's simple, it's clean, it's efficient, no fluff, no unnecessary complexity. The design is intuitive. The internals are straightforward. Maintenance is a breeze. Anyone who's ever stripped a Glock knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's the kind of reliability that engineers dream about. That's why I call it an engineer's gun. It's light but durable, predictable in every way. It's a tool you can trust your life to. And if you want to make it a tool that you can trust your life to and make it a nice fancy toy that you can show off to your friends and all that, you can too. That's the beauty of Glock. You can do whatever you want to do. You can make it look however you want to make it look. Like, there is not a company, it's not even close. Glock is at number one, and the next up, it's not even close. It's not even close. Glock is like Tom Brady, and the number two is like Patrick Mahomes, whoever that number two is. I'm not going to pick a number two right now and put me on the spot. But Glock, you know what I'm saying? Tom Brady. Championships on championships on championships on championships. You got to prove yourself to, you know, to try to dethrone somebody. So, again, it just grinds my gears because everybody knows about Glock's aftermarket support. Everybody knows about Glock's reliability. Everybody knows all these things that I'm talking about, but then we kind of forget, and I say we because I used to be that person too. We kind of forget about all this stuff when something new and shiny comes out. We're little addicts. And I don't know. Again, it just grinds my gears. So for me specifically, if anybody's claiming that a new gun that has not been out for more than 2, 3, 4, 5 years, proven itself over and over again, has parts availability and has a distribution network where you can find parts and the actual gun so you can buy it, it's sensationalism. You're trying to get views, you're trying to get clicks, you're pushing a marketing angle because it's not the truth. And it's not the truth today, it won't be the truth tomorrow. It just doesn't work that way. So, and I know this is gonna bug a lot of people because I know I have friends, buddies, acquaintances that carry the Echelon, that carry 365s and carry a lot of the new goodies. I own all those guns. I get it. I love guns too. But the truth is the truth. So at the end of the day, the Glock 19 is basically the AR-15 of handguns when it comes to customization. So like, everything that I've said, it's very hard for a company to come out with a product that's going to compete with that. You can't. So like, I mean, and this is not just the Springfield thing. Don't think that I'm getting on Springfield because it just came out with the Echelon Compact. I think Springfield thinks I hate them. I don't. I like people to speak the truth, be upfront, and enough with the marketing BS, enough with the bullshit. I love Canics. You guys know I love Canics, and I know you guys waiting on my Canic MC9L. I'm just getting rounds downrange, putting rounds through it to make sure that it's good to go. I don't want to put a gun in front of you guys in a video. I have a platform. I have a duty, responsibility to make sure that what I'm saying is truthful and I've actually put the gun through its paces. Too many people on YouTube saying things about guns they've not done enough shooting with, in my opinion. So it's coming. But I love Canics. But Canics, again, same problem with Springfield and all these other, you have not proven yourself enough. Excellent triggers, yes. Feels good in the hands, yes. But it just has not been out enough. It has not proven it. 35 plus years of reliability, trust, all that. You got to build that shit. That takes time. So I would never say that a Canic could, dethrone Glock. Are Canic guns good? Yes. But context matters. Telling the truth matters. And yeah, as somebody who does marketing for a living, who does copywriting, who deals with companies doing branding and all that stuff, I know marketing when I see it. So like, again, anybody saying any new gun is gonna dethrone the Glock is telling you lies. It's not true. It's just not true. In 5 years, 10 years, if somebody's coming out and saying, "Hey, the Echelon Compact might start giving the Glock 19 a problem," then let's start. Yeah, okay, it's been out for a while. Tell me your findings. I have buddies who've put more rounds through their Gen 3 Glock 19s than probably half of Springfield Echelon owners thus far. Like it's like I'm talking thousands and thousands of rounds. Like it's very hard to put into words. Like it's and I feel like we all know this. Again, we just need a reminder sometimes. Something new comes out, we get a little too excited. Man, calm down. You know? The king is the king for a reason. And if you're gonna come at the king, you best not miss. In my Omar voice. So, and right now, there's been a lot of misses, in my opinion. So, and this is again not a dig at Springfield. I'm not trying to prop up Glock, but the truth is the truth. I get a lot of viewers who are new gun owners who are just starting to get on their journey. I don't want to spread misinformation and paint a new narrative that is not true. So, yeah, that's all I had today. Just kind of had to get that out. I just wish gun companies did a better job with their gun releases, did a better job of reaching out to their actual consumers, their target market, and just did a better job at this shit. Like it's very lazy in my opinion. I feel like they spend most of their money on R&D and then not enough money on the consumer side of things. Like I know these are guns, but like psychology, marketing, the way you do things and present your products and all that, and your claims and the way you get your products into influencers' hands and all this other stuff, that stuff matters. And it's just leaving a real bad taste in my mouth, honestly. And some people may think that I'm bitching, complaining, whining, but it's the truth. And the problem with our community is a lot of people bite their tongue, and that's the problem with the community. It's going to shit. People need to start speaking up, saying some shit. So like that's why I encourage people to start YouTube, put out videos, speak your mind, and yeah. But that's all I have for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the love and support. Do something great. Be positive. Recycle. Hope everybody's being safe out there with the whole craziness that's going on in the world. I know they just caught the New York shooter at a goddamn McDonald's, still with the gun on him. Like, oh. Brother, that's another conversation for another time. But appreciate you guys watching the video. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.